Hello, students and staff of South Medford High School. I am your school resource officer, Mike Jackson. This is campus monitor Jacqueline Galinsky, and welcome to today's episode of The Way of the Panther. Today we are going to talk about marijuana, use, possession, consequences, and kind of what you can look forward to should you decide to come to school under the influence of this stuff or bring some of it with you. Specifically, we're going to provide you three very valid reasons why that's a bad idea. And please pay attention because there will be a quiz at the end. Number one, the obvious one. It's illegal. As the police officer, I have to tell you that if you are not 21 years old, and I doubt any of the students are, hopefully none of you are, you can't have it. There are a few exceptions here and there for people that have medical marijuana cards, but I just want to make it very clear that even if you have a card, you are not allowed to have that stuff at school. But possession of marijuana or alcohol or any number of drugs in a school environment is illegal. Possession of those things by someone who is under 21 years of age is illegal. And so if you are found to be under the influence of marijuana, or if you are in possession of it, or even just drug paraphernalia like a pipe or something like that that has marijuana residue on it, you are probably going to receive a citation. Depending on what drug you may have in your possession and how much you may have of it, you could also be arrested and go to JDH. You're talking about opening up a legal case. You're talking about getting involved with the juvenile justice system. And frankly, that's something that we're trying to avoid. I'm here more to keep people from being cited and prevent people from being arrested than to cite and arrest. And so it's my hope that at least issue number one will keep you guys away from this stuff. How about number two?
Number two, another great reason to not use marijuana or any other illegal substances or drugs is that the staff here at South Medford High School have a responsibility to uphold school board policy. And as a public school, we're governed by state laws, and we are required to uphold those. What that looks like if you are under the influence or in possession of marijuana or any other drug is first offense is a 3-day suspension, which is pretty stiff. It takes you out of the learning environment. There's a possibility of not being in class, therefore falling behind. Nobody wants that. The second consequence or any other issue involving drugs or alcohol, any marijuana, anything like that, would be an expulsion, which is, of course, a hugely severe consequence. Nobody wants that either. Two really, really important things to remember when you're making that choice. The other thing that I think about and that I see most often when I'm working with kids around this issue is the impact that it has on family. When I see true regret and concern and pain, really, in a kid in front of me is when it comes time to call home and let a parent or loved one know about what happened at school that day. And that's when I think I want kids to think about that beforehand, because that is the most impactful time for me that I see when I'm working with kids through something like that. So always remember about that impact it has on your family, and socially it's important as well.
Well, number three kind of gets into that impact. So number one, it's illegal. Number two, it's against school board policy. Number three, as Jacqueline was alluding to, there's a reason for all that. Drugs are bad, and that's why you're not supposed to do them, and that's why they're illegal. You have to be a certain age before you're allowed to decide to smoke cigarettes. You have to be a certain age before you're allowed to decide whether you want to drink alcohol or smoke marijuana. And then there's a whole slew of drugs that are just illegal all the time, no matter what. And a lot of things that grow, even that grow out of the ground and seem to be very natural, are not necessarily good for you when you burn them and put them in your body. And the fact of the matter is, your brains all have, most of you within the sound of my voice have about 10 years of brain development that you still need to go through. And with the areas of your brain that are developing, specifically the areas that have to do with cognition, rational thought, decision making, these are not areas that we want to stunt that brain growth. We want you here and we want you clear. We want you to have a clear head learning, and we don't want something like drugs or alcohol, these substances, to get in the way of that. So today is all about just getting that point across. We want very, very strongly to urge you guys, if you are thinking about using this stuff or you've experimented in the past, please don't do it in the morning before school. Don't leave during lunch and do it. Don't bring that stuff here, because there's going to be problems for you in terms of consequences, but even more importantly, the problems that come with just being here under the influence of something and not being able to concentrate, not being able to get out of school what you're supposed to get, and then ultimately not even being allowed here because you were caught with the stuff. Mm-hmm. So we hope we hope that this segment has been impactful. We've got a couple of questions for you to think about. This is the quiz that we talked about. So a couple of questions to think about and discuss. Number one, think about and share 2 reasons why it is not a good idea to use marijuana or other substances.
Another question is, think and share about the social impact, the family impact that choice could make for you.
All right. Well, that's all we have. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and we hope you have enjoyed this fine episode of The Way of the Panther.